guys, sorry about the wind. I decided to make a quick video to kind of show you around the car, so hopefully you kind of have a better idea what you're getting yourself into before you come and see it, for anybody that's interested. So here's my 2001 Saab 95. I've had it since 2013 or 14, I believe 14. I've had it, it's got 146,000 miles right now, and I've had it since 83, I believe. So the reason I'm selling it is not because I don't want to keep driving the car, but I did get that Mercedes 190, and it's only got about 50,000 miles on it. So between the two cars, since I can't keep both, I think I want to keep the Mercedes, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of my beloved Saab. So I'll give you guys a quick walk around. The car is by no means perfect, but it is a pretty decent example, I'd say, considering the fact that these cars are like 20 years old at this point. You know, most of them are definitely not this clean. So we have the Corvette C4 wheels, C4 Corvette wheels, and they're all 8.5-inch wide. So you can't actually rotate these tires because they're not staggered. You know, the Corvette usually have a wider set of tires in the rear than they do in the front, but I managed to find a matching, basically two front sets of Corvette tires, or excuse me, Corvette wheels. Tires are basically brand new. They're 235 section 45 17s, all seasons. You know, the wheels are pretty good. I kind of clean them up with something, and there's this like weird residue on there, but I'll try and clean that up before I sell the car. You know, we have some paint blemishes here. This is what I want you to see. We have basically complete peeling of the clear coat right there, and also over here. Now this started happening literally the week after I moved to Naples, because the sun is just so hot over there. This just started happening, which is quite unfortunate. You know, the paint of the car is one of the things that was actually really nice about it. But, you know, it's 20 years old. You really can't expect too much from a daily driver. Also starting to see a little paint blemish right there. So that's about the size of a quarter. It's really not that bad. Don't worry about that. I actually have a set of these that I'm gonna put on the car. So I'll have that residue cleaned up actually today. You know, the car's otherwise pretty clean. Let me see if I can open the trunk for you. Now we do have a little bit of an oil consumption problem, but you know, these cars are pretty old at this point, so that's something to be expected. It is pretty reliable though. I always carry a little bit of extra oil in there, so just, you know, I top it off about every other time I fill up gas. So about every 1,000 miles, you know, I check it and see, you know, see if it needs any. Usually it does need a little bit. It's really not a big issue. I mean, the car's pretty reliable otherwise. You know, as long as you kind of keep an eye on it. Show you under the hood. We have two sets of keys, by the way. Now, interior is pretty clean. I apologize for my dog in the background. And we have nicely working hood struts. Basically, we have, you know, just your run-of-the-mill Saab 9.5 engine. It has had the TD04 swapped over, and that is a Bruce City Boost, what do you call it, a bypass valve. We have a, you know, relatively new DIC, relatively new plugs. I did hit a cone on the freeway, and it busted up the radiator. So the radiator in this car really has only a couple of thousand miles on it, which is nice. We also have some DO88 cooling hoses. I'm not sure if you can see all of them. and also, you know, your silicone vacuum lines. You've got some more paint blemishes right there. The front bumper, I mean, if you're a perfectionist, the front bumper is just probably the worst part of the car, to be honest with you. That's where I hit that cone, and it kind of messed up also this side a little bit. That could use a little bit of work, but it's not that big a deal. We have paint flaking, you know, in your usual sort of rock chip places. That may be one thing that if I was going to keep the car, the next thing I would do is, you know, just take care of the paint where it does need taken care of. One thing that I wanted to show you is that I do have a complete set of line to clean these up. Well, they were clean last time I was here. I guess the weather's been kind of getting to them. We have the Aero side skirts and the Aero front lip. Obviously these are a different color and they will need to be repainted if you're gonna put them on the car. You know, one thing that I was planning to do is just have these repainted at the same time that I had a couple of, you know, perhaps the front bumper repainted, and like, you know, the doors here and maybe the trunk lid. The car definitely doesn't need a full respray, you know, just where the blemishes are. I mean, the paint's pretty nice otherwise. You can see how shiny it is. You can see me in it. And it looks okay here too. I did try and take some polish to this, some polishing compound. However, I didn't have the correct pad and it just kept getting clogged up. But just to give you an idea, that's kind of what it looked like. It was kind of dull, like right there. You don't really see a really good reflection. But if you do take some polish to it, it really comes back pretty nice, like right there. If you can see, it's actually very shiny. I'm not sure how well it's going to come up on the screen, but if you're handy with a polisher and a polishing, you know, machine, whatever you call that, you can definitely bring the shine back on the top of the car. The interior is really clean. One thing I wanted to point out, there's some garbage here. Let me take care of that. I did have the interior steam cleaned, and I think I used the steamer a little bit too close, so it kind of damaged the plastic trim over here. I'll try and clean this up. I'm not sure what I can do about it, but I mean, you know, this is the most used part of the car, so not really going to be too concerned with that little trim piece, to be honest with you. Floor mats are pretty decent. Obviously the driver's is worn more than the other ones. The seats are in pretty good condition. We have just slight hazing here, but it's really not that big a deal. The seats, you know, in one, it's in one piece still. See the back. All looks pretty clean here. And because I'm a bit of a nut, and I do need to print a new one of these, but I do have service records from when I've bought the car. I don't have service records from before my ownership, but I've owned it for the last 8 years, so I do have quite a bit of service records in there. See, there's that. Show you the other side. Careful not to hit this Mercedes here. Other side looks clean. And this side too. Pretty nice. Let's fire her up. I'm gonna go ahead and actually close this. One thing when you have new hood struts is that these things are really hard to close. This defect on the steering wheel, you know, I do have an extra steering wheel that I will throw in with the car, and it's the Aero steering wheel with like the what looks like kind of like perforations and a kind of a grip handle. And that steering wheel is in a much better shape than this one. I just haven't really gotten around to installing it, but that will come with the car. Also, we have a bit of an issue here. Not sure how difficult this trim piece is to replace. I can imagine it's probably not that big a deal. The reason why this broke is because, well, it's just kind of brittle from the sun. So I was trying to, I don't know why I tried to slide it from over here, what I was doing, but yeah, that broke, which is kind of unfortunate. Let's start the car. We have no faults. $146,361 miles. That's probably not gonna go up much. Since I cleaned up the car, I've been keeping it in the garage because I kind of want it to be nice for the next person. I did have the silver trim replaced here because this car had the wood trim. So this is the one that I like better, and this is the one that's on the car. I don't have the wood trim. I just ended up throwing it away. I was trying to give it to somebody for free, but nobody really wanted it. So, you know, we have this trim now. A recently replaced Jalousie, or whatever you call this. Huge pain in the ass, but we have a new one now. I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the car. This is like a radio Bluetooth adapter, and it works great. CD player is non-functioning. The cassette player does work. Let's see. We have no dead pixels on the air conditioning system, and it does blow pretty cold. I wouldn't call it ice cold, and that's because I do have a blend door problem with this car. However, it still does cool the cabin after about 5 minutes, so I really haven't bothered changing it. You kind of do notice it when it's like really hot out. You know, it sometimes can be annoying, but for the most part it works pretty good, so I just haven't bothered. And when I was changing this whole area here, from the wood trim to the silver, this thing broke, but you can still close it and open it and go up and down. You just can't go left and right, which kind of sucks. Of course, on this car we have, shut that off, we have a Snail Tune by Cody from Sarasota. The car does drive pretty well. You know, you can go through all of these parameters here and figure out what's wrong if your Saab's not running well. We do have a line of dead pixels, which kind of sucks, but I am going to include another DIC that doesn't have dead pixels, but for whatever reason the volume down does volume up, and the seek track doesn't work when I do have that DIC included, when I do have that DIC installed. So sometimes you just can't win with Saabs, but that's what it is. We have the regular mirror that's non-dimming, but I do have a dimming mirror that will come with the car that you can install yourself, that can be wired to the sunroof. It's actually kind of an easy job to do. It's not too difficult. Heated seats work. Everything else really works on the car. The sound system sounds very good. The rear shell speakers here, these were blown a couple of years ago, so I did end up like replacing them with some kicker speakers or something like that, and they sound pretty good. They sound better than they did before, so I call that a win. Yeah, that's the Saab. Feel free to hit me up and come and drive it. I think you'll like it. like I said, I do have these badges. My buddy's got them. He works at Sweet Central in Orlando, and he's gonna bring them to me tonight, and I'll have them put on. So yeah, I don't want to sell. I just want to stress this. I don't want to sell the roof racks or the body kit separately. I want this to be like a one thing deal. You know, they'll come complimentary with the car, if you will. So the roof rack is in pretty good condition. You know, it's Thule, whatever you call this brand. Not bad. Yeah, overall, not a bad car. Hopefully this gives you guys an idea of what you're getting yourself into. I love this car. I regret to have to sell it, but you know, life happens, and sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Thanks for watching, and see you guys soon.